When I first became an empty nester, so many people had hyped it up so much that I was really excited about being an empty nester. But then I realized very quickly that it's not all what it's cracked up to be. Being an empty nester is not easy, but you can survive it. Today, I'm going to share some self care tips for empty nesters to help soften the blow a little. Let's talk about it. Hello, I am Cherith. Welcome back to the channel. Around here, I love helping busy women be unapologetic about putting themselves first. And today we're talking about being an empty nester and how to practice self-care as an empty nester. I know this is a brand new phase of life for you, and it may be very difficult to adjust to having your kids out of the house. But again, it is very doable. So I'm going to share some self-care tips for you. The first thing is to figure out what your communication is going to look like. Make sure that you spend some time on the front end figuring out what communication is going to look like. We have to be very real about our children being gone. It's not going to be the same. They're not going to always have all the time that they had when they were living at home. So you have to be realistic and intentional about what that communication is going to look like. If you're a mom who excessively worries, which I know a lot of us do because it's our babies, we need to talk to our kids about what that communication needs to look like, whether it be a text message in the morning just to kind of get your day started, or checking in throughout the day. But you need to sit down and talk with your kids so that whatever that communication is going to look like, everybody's on the same page. That kind of helps from the hurt feelings or the miscommunications about why someone didn't answer the phone or didn't text back. There can be a lot of factors that play into that you really need to take some time on the front end to work out so that those expectations are very clear for both parties. Number 2 was a big one for me: relearn how to relax. For 18 years, you've been able to relax for the most part because you had the kid closely under your wing. But when they go out on their own, you don't have your fingertip on them as much. So you may have a tendency to be uptight and take your brain all the way to 100 when you don't hear from them, or when they are not where you thought they were supposed to be, or things like that. We have to learn to relax. I always tell myself, we can't control things, or I can't control things that I'm not there to control. So I don't even try to worry about it. We have to trust that we have raised mature and responsible young adults that will make good decisions and that will consult you when they need you to help them. That may be very difficult, but getting all uptight and anxious about things doesn't help anything. So we have to take time to relearn how to relax. In order to do that, you may need to find the activities that help you to relax. And again, that may be difficult because you haven't focused on yourself in so long. Number 3 is to find a new hobby or pick up an old hobby. As moms, we sometimes lose ourselves in being a mom. We are so focused on our children that we forget about the things that we once loved. Being an empty nester is a perfect time for you to pick up an old hobby that you once enjoyed, or to discover a new hobby if you haven't had one in so long that you don't remember what it is that makes you happy. But having that hobby kind of gets your mind off things a little bit and kind of helps you to find yourself and to rediscover you and what you love. Next is to reconnect with an old friend. Being a mom and a friend can be tough. It's hard to juggle it all because we have so many different schedules. We have our work schedules and school schedules and extracurriculars. We're all over the place. A lot of times we make friends with the people that we're doing the activities with out of pure convenience, but we have some old friends that we really love and that we really miss. Being an empty nester is a perfect time to try to rekindle those relationships, to enjoy those relationships that you once had. Last but not least is to establish a new routine. For all these years, we have had specific routines that we follow with our children. We have our morning routine, getting them ready to go to school, taking them to school, or sending them off to school, whatever the case may be. But we've had a specific routine for several years. That's going to be very different now because you don't have anyone else right there at home to look after. So this is a perfect time for you to establish your own routines. Figure out how you're going to approach each day and set those new routines. There is no doubting that transitioning to the empty nest is tough. It is probably one of the most difficult things that I've ever done. I will tell you this, I have found the time to focus on some things that I really love, and I know that you can do that too. it is going to be tough and it is going to take time. I don't want to sit here and act like this is something that a 5-minute video can fix, because it's not. It takes a little bit of time for you to rediscover yourself and to get over all those feelings that you're going to feel because your kids are gone, but it does get better. I've heard so many people talk about how great the empty nest is, and I will be real honest, at first I was not feeling this empty nest thing, but then I had to accept it as my reality and figure out how I was going to exist moving forward. Now, don't get me wrong, it is very fun. I love it, absolutely love it when I have my family all together under one roof, but I have figured out how to survive when they're gone as well. So, empty nest does not have to be a place where you sit in depression and anxiety and overwhelm. You don't have to do that. You can figure out how to exist and to make it work for you. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and check out this video right here where I talk about self-care for couples. If you're home with a significant other, then this is a perfect time for you to focus on each other since the kids are gone. So make sure to check out that video where I share all the tips for self-care for couples. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you over there.